Hello, Susanna. Welcome.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you.
I have here Susanna Halonen. She is a positive psychologist and happiness coach. Warm welcome to community of doers and, of course, to Festival of Doers in January.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here.
First, can you tell me a little bit more about your work?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you said, I'm a happiness coach, and I've actually kind of coined the term the Happyologist. So that's kind of what my brand is all about. Obviously, because all the work that I do, from one-to-one coaching to workshops to talks, like one of the ones I'm doing at the Festival of Doers, is all about how you can be more happy and live a more fulfilling life. And everything I do is basically founded on the science of positive psychology. So basically the science of happiness and human performance. And I work with, one-to-one clients. I work with organizations, charities, universities, schools. So I have quite a wide range because I like a bit of variety and spice as well. And then on the side of everything, I do love writing as well. So then I try and spread my message through articles and books as well.
And you have written your first book, and I understand you are working on your second one. Can you reveal anything about that?
Well, my first book, Screw Finding Your Passion, is exactly what my talk at the Festival of Doers is all about, which is all about living a life with passion rather than trying to chase one passion. So you will find out everything about that at the Festival of Doers.
Fantastic.
And the second one is a little bit secretive at the moment, but obviously it is in the happiness sphere as well. And I'm going to be bringing basically kind of my top lessons in terms of what I think are the most important if you want to live a fulfilling life, and also kind of tying it a little bit on how habits are formed and what the tie between habits and happiness is.
Oh, I'm loving that. I'm definitely going to get that book. So how does a happiness professional define success?
Well, for me, it's all about being happy and fulfilled, because if you're not happy and fulfilled in your life, I kind of think, what's the point? And also because all this happiness and fulfillment is what feeds that positive passion energy. And you want to live a life that's full of passion, full of positive energy. And you also want to be able to pause for gratitude. And I think if you can do all of that, then you're living a successful life. And the funny thing is, when you are happy and more fulfilled and more passionate, you naturally are more successful as well, because, things from you being able to activate more of the learning centers in your brain. From when you're positive, you're also more creative, and the list goes on and on and on. So ironically, when we learn to kind of embrace happiness and fulfillment and live a life that really gives that to us, then success will naturally and organically follow.
And what does happiness and fulfillment mean to you personally?
Yeah, to me, it's basically kind of two elements. One is all about having enough kind of positive emotions. So things like pleasure, momentary pleasure. So savoring things in the moment, anything from a nice hug to having a good conversation with a friend to eating a good piece of cake or wearing one of your favorite dresses, all these things that give you kind of momentary joy. And then also about having this sense of purpose and meaning. So kind of understanding why you do what you do. What is it that drives you? What is it that motivates you? What's the kind of impact you want to have on the world? Because I think as long as you can have both of those, this short-term momentary joy with this sense of meaning and purpose, which is much more long-term and sustainable, then you have basically the whole holistic package of happiness and fulfillment.
Oh, that sounds too good to be true. So people are going to be watching. Oh my God, I can't take this much of happiness, So, were you always like this? Has there been struggle? Can you share maybe some of the backstory with our viewers?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think one of the reasons I was attracted to positive psychology and became the happyologist because I needed it in my own life so much. So I'm always been a natural pessimist, very direct, very practical, very rational, always looking at kind of risk assessment and what could go wrong rather than what's going right. So I had to kind of retrain all of that in me because I realized, well, one, it wasn't working for me. I felt miserable and unhappy. I was in a corporate job that wasn't aligned with who I was. So eventually, once I read this incredible book, which I highly recommend, called The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker, that's the book that introduced me to positive psychology. And once I read it, I was like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. And then I just started taking little steps forward from doing just an introductory weekend course in positive psychology, reading more books on it, following some of these authors, writers, positive psychologists, researchers. And with kind of every step I took, I felt more sure it was the right thing to do. So whilst I was also developing myself and kind of training myself to become an optimist and being able to think more positively, then I also realized that's what I wanted to give back to the world. That's what I wanted to then teach other people as well, because I felt the transformation I had gone through had completely changed my life. So then the final step was basically I went and did a Master's of Science in Applied Positive Psychology and also coaching accreditation. And then basically those two I marry together to now then work with clients and hopefully create similar transitions to what I did for myself, I suppose.
Well, it is a wonderful story and kind of true living example of just following what excites you more and kind of following your joy and then finding the answers. Because very often we want to have the answers before we go and search for them. So I really love that story. So what would be your top tip for a woman who is maybe thinking of starting that journey to follow her joy, but feels a little bit of unsure how to get started?
I think the top tip when it comes to living a fulfilling life and kind of bringing out that positive passion energy is being you. So it's all about authenticity. And I know sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed with, oh, well, what is authenticity? How can I be authentic? And the simplest question to ask yourself is, what are my top 3 values? Because values are basically the principles you want to live your life by. And if you know what they are and connect with them, then you can start making decisions that basically match those values and know that they're not in conflict. Because the more you try and pretend to be someone else or live according to someone else's values or values that you think you should have, the more you suppress that natural joy and that natural passion energy that sits within you. So the more you are really able to just connect with, okay, what are my actual values? What are the principles I want to live my life by? How is my life aligned with it right now? And okay, well, how could I align it more? And just by exploring that, coming back to that question again and again, that's how you can stay connected to your authentic self and make sure that you are really living a life that gives you the biggest chance of happiness and fulfillment.
That is excellent tip. Thank you very much, Susanna. And we are very much looking forward to seeing you at Festival of Doers in London on the 27th of January. And Susanna will be talking about finding your passion.
Yes, I can't wait. Very excited.
We will see you there. Thank you so much.